Welcome back, everyone. Today, let me talk to you about Search and Destroy Ranked. It's been a bit since I've been here. I don't think I've played it since last season. I had to get used to this whole play style again. It was a bit rough at first, but I think I got it now. So I'm gonna be leaving gameplay on the background. I had to take out the audio in a few parts due to the people I was playing with having screeches in their mics, so that's why you will see me mute them. And then if I die in the round, I will probably cut to the next part, to the next round, simply because I think it's more interesting that way to watch someone play rather than watch someone spectate. Plus, I don't want to comment on the playstyle of someone, at least not yet. But instead, today I want to talk to you about how I find, first of all, the M13 in Search and Destroy. I think the M13 in Search requires you, at this point, it's a requirement to have the bullet velocity ammo type. I think it's the 300mm. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. But essentially, if you don't have that one, you're at a severe disadvantage, since the M13's bullet velocity, you can feel it's not there. So you need that if you want to get a good gameplay going with it. It's not top 5 weapons in meta, but it's pretty good. I won't say it's off meta yet. It's probably like an honorable mention. But yeah, this is what I will say about the M13, since you'll see me test it out in this gameplay. In this gameplay, I don't use that bullet speed accuracy ammo, but I have been playing this ranked. At the time when I recorded all this, I was pro, and people aren't as sweaty there, so you can use off-meta guns too if you really wanted to. You would have to try harder, a little bit harder than usual, but not too much. Whereas if you're in Master, which as of the recording of this video, I am Master 4, really close to 5. I hope to get to Grandmaster before the next season. But I wanted to talk to you about my ranking for Search and Destroy in this video. These maps, because some of them are excellent, but I think there is one map in this whole selection of Search and Destroy that I think needs to go, and it needs to just not come back again to rank Search and Destroy. But let's start from the best one, right? So the best map in this game is Standoff. Standoff might as well be, in my opinion, the best map in CoD history, in terms of balance and in terms of variety and fun, which are usually the things I value the most when it comes to ranked matches: balance and fun. So Standoff is quite balanced, as you can go many different routes, many different ways through offense and defense, to either outflank your opponent or to simply just get to the action and show your skill. And it also gives lots of play styles to all sorts of players. You can use any weapon and you'll do well. Well, when I say any weapon, I mean any weapon type. Obviously, you will likely have to use meta guns when you're playing the higher ranks. But in theory, if it's a meta weapon, and even some off-meta weapons can be used at any point, doesn't matter what type they are. If you're just playing Standoff, you have a chance. It's the best and most balanced map in this game, and I don't remember any other map that is as balanced or as good as that one. In my opinion, what comes next may not be everyone's opinion, but I think it's Raid. Raid is the other map that allows all sorts of weapon types to be usable, and the only difference is that there is more of a chance that if you go on one lane, you have to be ready to just use a certain kind of weapon type. If you don't use that, you're most likely at a disadvantage. So the B bomb lane is mostly long range battles. It's mostly long range battles, so you want to bring an AR, an LMG, or sniper. But I would consider that the most long range one. You could argue the A bomb lane is also that, but I think because of the stairs, you can go mid range. The stairs in the middle helps you go mid range and even short range if you know your gameplay. But I think that's the second best map. The third one is firing range. Firing range would be my third most wanted. If I had to pick out of like every map and standoff and raid were in there, I would pick firing range because there's a lot of variety, but I would argue that it's a lot less balanced than raid because I personally think there's just a slight edge. It's mostly balanced, but there's a slight edge to defense rather than offense in terms of what the map favors. Because the thing is, I think that firing range has a slight edge on the mid lane. The mid lane in the map can be shut down by defense, and if you're not a good aim or if you're not a good sniper, mid lane, and when I say mid lane, I don't mean the full open area of mid lane where two snipers are always going at each other, or a sniper trying to shoot down any flankers. Talking about the middle area between the wooden building and the mid house, squished right between tower as well. I think defense side has a lot more advantage if you go through there. So you can use that more as a flank route than offense can. But I still think it's a very balanced map. I think Summit is actually a good map as well. It's pretty balanced, and I think it would go right after firing range, right before Tunisia, though the two are almost interchangeable. Summit is actually varied enough that you can try and change your routes due to its shape. However, I don't think it's as varied as the top three maps, which are standoff, raid, and firing range, due to the fact that usually you don't go to the side with the whole tower and the overlooking one. Usually it's pretty empty most of the time. In that case, defense would have the advantage, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty solid, and I think a lot of people pass over it for some reason when it's actually a pretty fine map for search and destroy. After that, I would think it's Tunisia. Tunisia is surprisingly a good search and destroy map. Usually, if you go B-bomb, it tends to be more of a flank route. At least if you're in defense, it tends to be more of a flank route. If you're in offense, you could argue that it's just to change the predictability, because 60% of the time people are gonna go towards A, and if they want to change the habit, they will go to A-bomb, because A-bomb has a few more advantages. But I think the A lane is actually relatively balanced, surprisingly. I definitely don't think that offense has the advantage in A lane. I think defense has the advantage on B lane, like B-bomb lane. But offense, I guess you could argue that they have advantage because it's higher ground on A side, but there's a lot of ways to counter anyone at the top. So I think it's pretty alright. It's fairly balanced. I'm not gonna say that Tunisia is a bad search and destroy map. And now we get to the other maps, which are Coastal, Terminal, and Crossfire. So I think after Tunisia, I think I'm gonna put Coastal above Terminal. You can argue that they are very sniper heavy maps on two lanes, which is why I'm bringing it down compared to Tunisia. But Honestly, I think it's a little bit underrated. It's not the best map, but it's underrated in the sense that if I had to pick between that and Crossfire, I don't know why people Crossfire. Either way, I think Coastal has enough variety where you can try and counter the snipers if you go mid lane or if you go A bomb. A bomb usually has the advantage if you're defense. If you're offense, you are usually at a disadvantage, but not by much, I would argue. You can also argue, I guess, that defense has more advantages than offense. But I think you can outflank. If there's a sniper in the middle lane, you can use flashbangs to try and counter it and then safely damage them through the middle boxes. But you have to be really confident in your aim. It's just a way to keep them off guard, just so that they're like, whoa, where did this guy come from? Which leads me to Terminal. Terminal is definitely not balanced. I wouldn't say it's balanced. I think it favors defense a lot more than offense. Offense has to play way harder to push and get map advantage, which is essential in Search and Destroy, because it favors, Terminal favors a lot of snipers. Sniper gameplay, Terminal is, I think it might just be essential. You can obviously not have a sniper on your team, but if the other team has a sniper, you're already at a disadvantage due to the middle platform or highermost platform there is on the middle lane, which can shut down essentially all three lanes. If they go middle, they can just shoot you down from above and you cannot see them. You can only see their feet, which already gives you a disadvantage in terms of damage, and they can shoot you down in one shot. If you go the A lane, the A bomb lane, then immediately you will have to flashbang the snipers or have really good mobility and hope that the snipers are slacking so you can outplay them. And of course, you could also argue that plane is the safest lane for offense, but I still think you have a disadvantage there. Because if you go down, if you go below the airplane, there will be a person camping right below the window on the bottom floor just to get an advantage over you and shoot first. And then obviously if you go the plane, there is two ways it can go down. Either you're shot through the back of the plane or you're shot through the front, through the pilot room. And if you're too slow going towards the plane, you can get shot down by the sniper at the top of the platform. Really not a good look for the Terminal. But I have grown to appreciate Terminal. Oh, that's right. I almost forget Crash. So, this is my most controversial and probably the most hot take I have. But I think even Terminal has, at least with the people I have faced, it's a lot. I have gotten to appreciate it a lot more than I would have with just Crash. I put Crash below Terminal because I think Crash has become monotonous over time. Everyone plays the exact same way. There's always a sniper in offense that camps either a second floor building of their spawn or right behind the trash can trying to shoot down anyone that goes A bomb. And they also can shut down all of B lane just for being there, since they have lots of opportunities to shoot down anyone that comes B lane from defense. From offense that in Crash has the advantage for sure. And not only can they shut down three essential sites, because they can shut down anyone planting at A if they're not careful. They can shut down the little trash can head glitch. Well, not head glitch, but the trash can you can mount on as defense to shoot down anyone coming through the A lane can be shot down. So you have to go through the bottom, which means you have to use an SMG most of the time. But the problem is also that in Crash, a lot of people use melee weapons. It's really annoying. I can vibe with melee weapons up to a certain point, but they're always camping that bomb and both stairs to go for the second floor and to go to the top floor. They're always camping on the corner and just putting trip mines just in case, so you cannot necessarily shoot them down long range. Thankfully, I used hardwired because I think at this point hardwire is almost essential for search, since a lot of trip mines go on corners, and it has just become monotonous to me. There is no variety. You only can go A bomb, and you can try flanking through middle and pray that there is no one thinking the exact same thing as you if you're offense. And if you're in defense, you just have to pray that you have a good sniper on your team that can defeat the person on B lane, the sniper on B lane on offense. But yeah. Finally, the map I hate the most. And in this case, I can vibe with Crash. Crash looks like a standoff when compared to Crossfire. Crossfire is awful, an awful map. Probably one of the worst maps, in my opinion, in terms of ranked. Crossfire is simply just snipers playing team deathmatch with one life, and everyone else trying to go through the outer lanes, hoping that they're not shot down by a sniper. Essentially, most matches, 90% of the matches, are played on the lane with the boss and all the chain buildings. I think it's a bomb, if I'm not wrong. But point is, it's just you have to play that bomb. If you play the other one, you have to hope that the snipers do not notice you, and essentially just use that. Like, use B-bomb. If you're gonna plan B-bomb, you have to hope that they do not notice the countermeasure. But it's such a boring map. It's so boring. It's honestly, I just want it out of search and destroy rotation. I wanted it out yesterday. Essentially, what I mean is, it isn't a ranked map. It's not balanced. It's not fun. It has no variety. And it's just, there is only one way to play and one way to play alone. There is no flanking. Like, there are maybe very few times, but usually if you can flank, then you're usually playing against a weaker opponent 9 times out of 10. If there's not a single sniper, you'd probably found the NEC lobby. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now, guys. That's my opinion and take on every search and destroy map. My only other messages are that please use hardwired if you're playing search and destroy ranked. Obviously use dead silence. If you're not using dead silence, then I don't think you're playing search and destroy, obviously. I think you probably just accidentally got into a match and you only had some TDM, domination, or hardpoint loadout. And other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna tell you that next week I'll probably be reacting to the Battle Pass for next season, since we're just a few days away, and I'm excited for that. I look forward to seeing the swordfish. I have seen the leaks. Well, I have seen a leak of the swordfish Mark II coming back, and I'm so happy about it. But I will be reacting to everything else because I don't know what the pass will look like or anything. Just know that the swordfish and thumper are coming, and the Mark II is the tier 50, or it's speculated that it's the tier 50 weapon. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks. Take care, and I hope to see you next week. And obviously, I had to say this from now on, and I don't like being that guy, but I hope that you can like and comment. Again, subscribe if you want, subscribe, or don't subscribe if you don't want to. But if we can get some views by the algorithm, that would be appreciated. I just want to share my opinions about this game and enjoy it over time. And if I have time, I may be doing a video about my diamond grind. I have been grinding the pistols lately on free-for-all shipment, and I can talk about that. If not next week, then the week after. Bye.